and whatever studio made the Dota anime. I don't remember.
I'm appreciating them, if anything. I don't know what you're talking about.
Appreciates the artwork. He is an otaku for Devion.
I like that. It's a good use of otaku because otaku actually means obsessed in Japanese.
Yes.
So you can't just be an otaku. You have to be an otaku for something.
You know, I think
good Richie, very cultured.
I looked it up the other day just because I was curious how many casts we've done together. After about 700 or so, you know, probably about 650 of those, you corrected me on otaku. I finally got it right, boss. Finally got it right.
Yeah, you know what they say, right? If you cast enough with Avo, you eventually learn Japanese, you baka. Anyway. Let's see how the lanes go for this. I think Team Reborn, if they get a decent start off these lanes, they have a pretty decent early mid-game heroes. Jug, CM, Pango all work with relatively low levels. No big core items they need to depend on. Excalibur is probably the slowest out of the group, but even then, the DK is still useful by just running in, and he should have a decent lane. But if the lanes don't go too well for them, I can imagine Chicken Fighter's incredible 5-on-5 to just surpass Reborn in this game.
Yeah, that team fight's going to be pretty brutal. Spells that you're doubling this game, nothing really. I guess
Static Link?
Acorn Shot, yeah, but Static Link's probably going to be broken right away, most likely, right?
Fair.
But yeah, I mean, that's fair. Maybe it's occasionally going to be good. And with a slow Odeker, well, he might be forced to take it even here, as they are chasing level 1. Gork even chasing quite far, as he'll even give Odeker one little hit before he backs away. And it looks like they're swapping lanes here as well from Bald Reborn.
I mean, they know it, or...
Yeah, it's been scouted, though. Yeah, Shib is already heading down
bottom. ITB know this, right? They saw Juggernaut called bot, so they 100% knew where he was going to go.
And they've also committed 2 wards as well here in the jungle to scout Bald Reborn. They didn't see anyone contesting that top bounty spawn here, this one. And so they kind of knew for sure that the Jug would probably be bottom. But they are tri-laning here with a Maiden and a Rubik.
Yeah, it's not a bad tri-lane. I think the point of this lane is because Enigma is not a quote-unquote lane winner. He just denies your resources, right? Which is just a very unique interaction to him and Lich, obviously, or the old Lich. It means that the only way you can recover this lane or you can equalize it is by playing extra aggressively, getting kills, or getting the Eidolons, and getting the gold back that way. So a tri-lane could do that. They do have a lot of kill potential in this tri-lane. I don't mind the idea. It's a good solution, honestly. It's certainly creative.
Oh, yeah. Good deny so far as well from Gork. Making sure that they're doing their best to try and neutralize the lack of experience that they're going to be getting in a tri-lane versus an Enigma. It's going to be, you know, not a lot of experience to go around. Right now, it seems like they're prioritizing the Maiden level 2 first for Bengen, assuming it's either going to be Frostbite, probably, because you want to keep up the pressure, and that does give you tons of kill threat. Or they could break the tri-lane and take the point in Arcane Aura just to help out all your other lanes. See what they want to do.
Yeah. It seems like they're happy sacrificing the Pango. Like, Pango versus Razor is a tough lane, even with the support. Pango's not really meant to win his offlane most of the time. He's meant to just do okay and trade fine. And especially when Razor goes for Plasma Field build, usually the build against a Pango, you know, you go 3-2. A Zip Zapper is just going to be able to farm under tower. And that's fine. That's what they're looking for. I think like you said, the Frostbite's a good idea, because that way you really put pressure on this bottom lane.
Rotation mid as well from Pablo, just to ensure that they try and starve Supreme out. Didn't have the bottle. I believe it's about to be delivered, indeed. So not the biggest loss for him, but he's going to be slightly annoyed to find that the supports are already rotating away from bottom. That'll give Bengen his level 2 and the point in Frostbite.
Usually when you have a tri-lane versus tri-lane situation, they're too static, right? The lanes have to stay together because otherwise one lane just starts to falter. But when it's tri-lane versus dual lane, this gives a lot more versatility to Team Reborn to actually rotate supports to the mid lane and help on Excalibur. And since Excalibur, again, is probably the slowest, quote-unquote, here in the team, they can ensure to get an early Blink Dagger and start to gank and put the early pressure they're probably looking for with this kind of draft.
Yeah, and for the lane that we haven't really touched on too much because it's not very exciting, to DK versus a melee hero, well, that's because the DK actually does really well here. One Bracer into the Soul Ring, potentially a second Bracer, I believe, actually, being delivered now.
Yep.
So basically off-lane DK in the mid lane. And versus the melee matchup, I mean, we could see how well it does here, as he's staying even just a bit in terms of CS. In fact, he's just barely ahead.
Yep. I love this double Bracer build. It makes any strength hero seem kind of unkillable, and especially against Void Spirit, who has a very set amount of damage, right? Once you surpass that threshold with your HP, there's nothing you can do, right? So he has to go gank other lanes. Then DK could just take your tower for free, which is a strength he has as a mid hero. It's a good plan. It's also, I like it that it's simple in execution, that there's nothing you have to do that's too special to make this work. That's a good way to play an early game lineup.
Good anonymization, by the way, by Bald's Reborn. I just wanted to point out for this tri-lane, as we can see Pablo sniping a courier with his deep ward. He actually started off with the headdress, so you've got Arcane Aura eventually here as Bengen's about to hit level 3, as well as headdress in this bottom lane in case Chicken Fighters wanted to do a try versus try. They did not accept that trade, actually, as it turns out. We'll see how that pays off for them here as the laning stage starts to wind down. But Bald Reborn, we're very ready for it. It might be a problem because Pablo's still level 1 4 minutes in, is the downside that I'm clearly seeing here.
Yeah, he's been sacked, right? And that's where ITV is probably banking as well. Their supports are going to have much more impact in the early. You also have decent ganking on the supports. You can play around maybe with a Void Spirit. And the fact they have a Hoodwink to help them out will really increase his kill threshold as well.
Oh, yeah.
So I like this. I do like the headers a lot, though. Itemizing for the tri-lane is pretty clever, and it shows commitment to this idea. Like, they talked about it in strategy time, and they went, all right, we're going to tri-lane here.
Clearly it was an idea, and it's working out so far, as Ari might be in for some trouble here. 5 minutes in, no first blood has been spilled yet. It seems like we're going to have to wait a while longer. Or will we? Gork is going to go in off the back of that telekinesis, eating lots of tower shots. That'll trigger the TP out from the Grimstroke from the top lane. Gork healing a bit. He knows his trees, and he's going to path away from Shibe. Pablo here to support him as well, as it might be the Maiden in trouble. But unlikely, and in fact, it might turn.
You got hit by the Frostbite here. Kidaro wants to get rid of the healing ward first. He does. The Eidolons are covering his escape, though. Stroke of Fate not quite used there. Deciding to reserve his mana instead. And the support's helping each other out, bringing a salve here for Kidaro. So the tri-lane versus tri-lane will now apparently start. But with higher levels on the ITV supports, the Bushwhack hits. Now the Malphite as well. Gork does have the Blade Fury. And that means he's going to be able to just leave.
Yeah, that was so aggressive. He gave a quick lick to Shibe there before he left, just to scare him off, and it did work actually quite effectively. And now we have the sampler build for Bengen, who is still the same as Grimstroke, isn't he? Level 3 to level 3, it's really just the Rubik that they're sacking.
Otakar. They'll be in trouble. Zip Zapper still has the Swashbuckle. There's the shield crash first. Swashbuckle will get Otakar. Well done. However, Supreme does come by for the counter kill. But still a huge win there for Zip Zapper. Getting a solo kill on the Razor is massive in this game.
Yeah, it's also going to force him to abandon the rotation from the Void Spirit, I should say, is going to force him to not only take a lot of tower damage here, he also loses out on the Power Rune, which is down bottom. It's a regen, so not that consequential, but still what could have been really cost of doing business for ITB, as they will force Kidaro over to the mid lane to defend against the Elder Dragon form and the Wagon.
Yep, that was a good play, and it comes partially from the commitment that Bald Reborn had to their ideas, right? Because they kept Pango top, they knew he would get more experience solo than the Razor with the support, but when the moment support rotated, Razor had less levels, and he was just at the mercy of them, right?
Can we just say,
so, at that point, ITB was using it really well, or sorry, Bald Reborn was doing that very well.
There is an XP per minute stat. I wanted to look at this. I don't think anyone has ever used this on purpose in a Dota2 professional broadcast, but look how little the XP is for both Shibe and Gork. Shibe's really struggling here, and he's got the deny, right, which no longer gives you that percentage base of experience. But that's because you take a look at how many denies that Gork has. He's at 15 denies. He's got the same amount as the Enigma. So if this was the idea that Team Bald had in mind, then it's really working out here in the early game.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
That's true. That's probably the best case scenario for them, honestly. Little 1k lead, tri-lane working out well. The experience is not doing too badly, as you said, only really Pablo being the one that's a bit sacked. And still, it's fine, because your other support's going to be able to carry you early anyway. And Gork doing a pretty decent job. I mean, 34 last hits to his name. He's beating the Enigma for sure. He's not been extremely denied here. Even has a pretty fair amount of denies against Enigma. And matching Otakar is very impressive.
That's what I was just bringing up here, as Excalibur is in some trouble in the mid lane. They will be able to save him a little bit of space, but the rotation from Ari here, both supports from ITB, are able to secure the kill onto the DK.
Good rotation, right? That's the power of having the Hoodwink farm that we were talking about earlier. That the experience being more spread out between these two supports allows you to make these rotations with the Void Spirit more so, and your kill squad is probably a little bit stronger.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Than Bald Reborn.
Rubik with little experience, I think this is the best way to take advantage of it. You force him to defensively rotate. This frees up space for Shibe as well, who is going to have some company now with Zip Zapper thinking about the Rolling Thunder, but Shibe is so close to the level 6, he might get it just off the Eidolons. In goes Gork and Zip Zapper. They're going to make the play. No black hole point for Shibe left yet here, only at level 5, and he will be cleaned up. Kill going to the Pango.
Zip Zapper looking really good this game, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
Great rotations. On point
He's
with his
level 8.
timings as well. He's
Level
what?
8. He's matching the experience right now of the Void.
Yeah.
Structures are fortified.
He was solo, to be fair, right? So like, that helped him, and solo in the safe lane, right?
Yeah.
Again, they're taking advantage of this very clearly, and they knew this was their biggest threat.
To your point, though, solo versus
Zip
a
Zapper's-
Razor, which like isn't a free lane, especially because the Grimstroke was up there
True.
as well the entire time.
Zip Zapper still thinking about Ari, who goes into the trees. There's the Razor as well, Zip Zapper. Alright, the Inkswell used. Otaka has decided on a target, they decide on the Pango instead. Inkswell will hit, stops the Swashbuckle halfway through. Now he finally gets it up, but he'll die to a single auto attack from the
Yeah,
Grimstroke.
chased him uphill. For that, though, it seems like Team Bald Reborn will be able to claim the mid lane. So still some pretty decent space being created by the offlaner, as with that point in level 6 now in the Enigma, Gork no longer keen on being in the bottom lane. He TP's top. I think this is why actually the Pangolier goes bottom in general. They preempt the timing, and with that space, it's not the usual rotation, I would say. Offlaner super early. Sometimes the offlaner will rotate mid, or you know, the safe laner will gank the offlane or something like that for the lane swap. But it's a very effective here, and Excalibur is able to clean up this mid tier 1 tower with the support. So really, really well done for Bald, and very, very good job here. Very good first game by Zip Zapper, who might even get another kill.
Yeah, I think he's got it. There we go.
Very good game. I'm very impressed by this.
You lost one Pango specialist, and you apparently found another one, right? That's just what happened. The Bald Reborn, impressive.
Yeah, they're looking really, really good in this early game. I think they can be fairly happy with how this this game's going so far. Biggest point of inflection here for ITB potentially could be Blink Dagger on Enigma. That's when your team fight starts to get really, really scary, as well as BKB for Razor, as I did miss a little bit of a kill there.
Radiant structures are fortified.
So it's not all bad
okay, it was
news
just
bears
Pablo.
for ITB yet.
Right, to be fair to ITB, their game plan is definitely not to win this early, right? That was the Team Bald Reborn's game plan. They're still waiting for, like you said, the Blink Dagger on the Enigma, the big, or whatever he gets to go for. Usually, I've seen a lot of people go for Wraith Pact and the offlaner first.
That's what it's going to be.
That's what I suggested earlier. Yeah. And it's the build that also, like, General was building when Enigma was relevant, right? This idea of, like, I'm the Aura Enigma, we just bunch up as 5, we'll be useful regardless, and he will eventually get a Blink Dagger, but this mitigates some of the early you have, and also takes more advantage of a Razor. That's not, like, necessarily a 5-on-5 hero, he's just really strong. He can do anything in the early game, and probably is the best hero for that,
Alder
no matter what.
keen to defend top. ITB instead will look towards the bottom lane, where Zip Zapper is currently farming away. There's going to be Supreme, doesn't want to make the jump without vision there. Instead, he's going to rotate towards the mid lane. Counter-rotation now coming from Team Bald, who did smoke to look for a fight top lane. Didn't pan out. Excalibur leading them down bottom here. Might find himself a squirrel.
Yeah, I love that Excalibur decided who needs a smoke. He decided just walking without one.
DK.
They saw him first, doesn't have a Blink Dagger, so it's going to be an easy kill. He might settle for the tower here. As a Zip Zapper will die first, it seems like. Rolling Thunder. Oh, Zip Zapper! Last hit will do the trick here. Hidara also stunned Frostbite. On top of that, Excalibur dealing a bit more damage to the Scrimstroke, but now taking his own damage from Otakar. The Black Hole catches 2. One is already dead, the second one falls finally to Otakar,
the body
who's
blocks.
looking for Pablo. Body block with those Eidolons. Well done. Another Apostle Field slow, plus the Void Spirit will clean up. And the extra seconds that ITB had to respond to this gank, partially because of the failed smoke, actually probably gave him the win here.
Yeah, I was really surprised. I'm not sure if that was done on purpose or not, but I believe Bald may have scouted the Void Spirit TP. Well, they for sure scouted him TP mid because he TP'd in front of a creep wave. But to me, it made sense that Bald could fight there. But as soon as they go diving underneath a tower against an Enigma, things do look a little bit dodgy for them there. Otakar might be in for some trouble top lane. Zip Zapper doing some serious damage here with the full Diffusal Blade at the ready, and will pick up the kill with the max shield crash. Nicely done.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Mid lane, Davion in trouble.
Zapper. He is. That Ghost is going to finish. He's still broken, though, unfortunately, so no armor. Gets it back. There's the region as well. There's Grimstroke's wife being thrown at Excalibur a second time as the Stroke of Fate actually snipes him.
Pablo's going to be able to steal the Arcane Rune. Rubik with an Arcane Rune. This could get pretty spicy, but not too likely here. Level 3 Stroke of Fate stolen is pretty decent for farming waves and getting caught up yet again. It's actually going to make a play for the Void Spirit Disarm, but still able to cast spells. He is going to at least make himself a bit of space, but Pablo snipes him with a stolen Stroke of Fate. That's going to be a kill there, and potentially a second to Zip Zapper rolling back around. I didn't know you could use the little vaults there on Tumblr's toy, but apparently you can, and that's going to be useful for getting the secondary kill onto the Grimstroke. Nicely done.
Yeah, it's actually very useful.
Yeah.
And again, Zip Zapper has just been my MVP this game. He's actually leading the net worth. It's crazy.
He's playing a
That's how
fantastic
impactful
game.
he's been.
Yeah, he's playing a great game.
Because it's also like, if he's leading net worth, but he's been farming, you know, it kind of makes sense. But he's leading by getting kills, which is incredible. Because this net worth is more a representation of the space he's making, right? For Gork, who's also second and very close behind. So quite right now, they're really, really happy where that game is going.
What's Gork building?
And I think...
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh.
I was just curious on what Gork was
he's
building.
building-
I hadn't seen him for a while.
He's going for the Mjolnir build, which is a clever idea against Razor, right? Because no matter what, you have this bit of damage that can't be reduced by him. So, and also, of course, a farming. So it's a great way to deal with heroes that can steal your damage or heroes with high armor, etc., etc. The mixed damage build, per se.
Yeah, I like it. I think it's a pretty neat solution, doing the best that he can against in an unfavorable matchup for him. His tower bottom will fall.
Wraithback finish, by the way.
Okay.
Ship it just got that. That's going to be a pretty big deal because now he can start building the Blink Dagger. And that, I think, is the point of inflection we've been hyping up the whole game for ITB.
Yeah, yeah, especially because Supreme, it seems like they've communicated on this, right? Supreme didn't go for like a Yule Scepter first, and he's not lacking that extra little bit of damage from the offlaner. For example, Supreme instead going for the Ag Scepter, which means he's going to be pretty self-sufficient, but is not going to be actively looking for fights until that point. That's totally fine. Supports here, Grimstroke and Hoodwink, are pretty good at clearing out waves, so it should buy you just enough time to get this done. And if you can combine this triple timing of potentially Blink Enigma with the Ag Scepter on Void Spirit and a BKB Razor, your teamfight's looking really good.
I like that point that you make, by the way, because I do think that all of Chicken Fighters, or sorry, all of ITP has a pretty good shove, right? So they can delay the game like that. Zip Zapper, is he getting found here?
What's Supreme?
He's not, he's the one initiating. Good, Rolling Thunder. We stun the Black Hole, and it has just been cancelled. Shit it. No Black Hole for this fight, even a stolen Soulbind. Once again, Zip Zapper creating discord and chaos in the middle of this fight. He might have to die for this. Nope. Apparently, Magic Wand will actually save him. Now it's time for Void Spirit to come in.
Doesn't have the damage.
To finish off Zip Zapper. Thanks to the shield crash, he almost stayed alive. But unfortunately, a last stroke of fate sniped him. They're still looking to take this on. Otakar really low on HP. He's going to decide to walk away as Pablo stole the Inkswell for a potential initiation with Excalibur here.
Amazing fight by Team Ball. Not done as the Blink on in with the stolen Stroke of Fate. Sorry, stolen Inkswell, pardon. He's going to easily get that kill onto Kadaro. That might just be the tower. And something that I really liked there that was a little bit unique, other than just good, spell casting by Team Bald overall, was what was it that I really liked? Oh, Bengen. He casts his ulti underneath the tower, and because CM gets 20 bonus armor, she just tanks tier 2 like perfectly fine, and allows the rest of Ball to kind of reset and get ready for that second little round. That was really, really quite something. I like that.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, the spellcasting you mentioned, no small feat for Pablo. We hyped up his Rubik in the beginning. I talked about the kind of foil he is. I think that was just incredible. The spells he stole there were really, really on point. Good Inkswell towards the, or good Soulbind towards the end, sorry.
Yeah, indeed. I didn't catch what actually canceled the Black Hole there, but it was so fast, and then stolen Soulbind as well. Was able to double up that double Dragon Tail. Easy fight for them overall. Looks really, really convincing. And that's...
Right, and they didn't get much... Sorry.
Oh, I was going to say, and that's ITB kind of feeling forced to fight before these big item timings, right? We've talked about the Blink Dagger potential on Enigma. We talked about the Void Spear first item. He's got bots. He's not really fighting with any items, right? And same thing for Razor, who's only 600 gold away now from the BKB. So it does feel like Team Bald kind of forced him to a fight that they weren't quite ready to take.
Yeah, and that fight as well was... Like, it went well even though they didn't do much with it because the idea of taking the tier 2 was probably the biggest objective, right? It was not about the kills you could get there, it's about forcing the enemy team back and taking the tier 2. And once you've accomplished that, you get the map control, which is much more valuable than anything that they could have, any kills they could have taken there. So you're right, good timing to fight and good usage of, or good spellcasting allowed them to win this, particularly because of Zip Zapper's position in the beginning. That was honestly clutch.
Yeah, pretty good spot to be hiding. He didn't really hesitate a second. He sees Void Spirit about to jump in, and he goes in immediately. Void probably just thought smoke broke on the DK or something like that, which is exactly what Bald were hoping, the kind of fake out play. And Gork, again, continuing to farm, right? Just to kind of bring up the carry versus carry matchup. He's got his full Mjolnir, so he might be even more keen on joining a fight or two now with that bonus attack speed. Of course, synergizing very well with Omni.
Gotta strike fast.
But it's BKB time now for Razor. Otakar has got that item about to be delivered. It's on the courier on its way. Blink Dagger on Enigma might have to wait. And they're definitely going to have to wait as well for this Ag Scepter for Supreme. 18 minutes BKBs is pretty standard for a Razor as far as I recall when I did my research for the Stockholm Major, so not too bad, not too great here for the Razor, but he is ready to go now. And he's just going to show at bottom on a creep wave, so this should not come as a surprise for Bald.
Yeah, I think they're going to probably wait until either the Blink or even the Ags, honestly, because they're so close to both.
Yep.
There's 600 gold away from the Ags, and you're around the same for the Blink Dagger. Just get them, play the strongest possible fight. Because usually the first BKB smoke on Razor is because Razor is the strongest hero on the map, and you've been dominating the early game, right? And then you finally just destroy it.
I think I'm seeing a pretty big problem with ITB's lineup right now. They don't siege objectives, any objective at all. Like, the tier 1's still very, very healthy. Like, who hits towers until Enigma has Blink?
Eidolons.
I mean, yeah, but against Breathe Fire, Maiden, Rubik, who can all...
No, you're right, but...
It's so hard.
That's it, you asked me.
Yeah, I mean,
that's the answer.
I guess that's true. It's just not realistic right now versus what Bald have. So it just feels like ITB have very few moves to make before these big items. And because they're not exactly late, I wouldn't say, but because they come at this natural time, it does feel like Bald have had a lot of luxury to do whatever they feel like here around the map. And they might have time to go for one more play here. Nope, just kidding. There's the items being delivered. ITB, the hour is nigh for them to fight.
Yeah, smoke time. It's smoke time. Because the way that their lineup is composed, because of the amazing amount of team fight, it's all about, like, they can hit objectives okay-ish. It's just that they need to win a fight first, right? Whereas for Team Reborn, they have a lot of objective taking, well, mainly DK, which is just very casual and no commitment there. You poke the tower a little bit, it falls because you just exist there. If they gank you, you're the tankiest hero, so it's fine. That allowed for the early moves by Team Reborn to be a little bit more effective. And they themselves go for a smoke, as both teams are actually smoking here.
Really good.
Apparently one is baiting with a Razor.
Really good vision by ITB. It might pay off in this fight. Those Team Reborn's, their smoke's about to expire. And they've got lots of wards in their own jungle here from ITB. So ITB, again, preparing very well for this big fight timing that they've been looking forward to for a couple minutes now. Team Bald will not venture across the river. That'll trigger a scan out from ITB, thinking that Roche might be contested. That'd be a bold move versus a smoked Enigma.
Yeah. Against an Enigma in general, I mean, I don't know if they've seen the Blink Dagger just yet, but you have to just be careful to not do one of those things where you smoke into the high ground and you think, one person will tank it, right? Any choke points are death against this hero. And he's probably the best force multiplier in the game. So no matter how far ahead you are, Enigma can always turn a fight with the proper black hole. That's always in the back of your mind.
Especially with the Ag Scepter now, the silence here could be very, very brutal towards Gork, who so far has not queued up any sort of dispel for himself. Of course, if he silence can't get off the spin. Nothing yet, just 700 gold in the bank. I thought he might consider the Manta, maybe anticipating the, of course, the silence to come through, but for now it's not been anything.
Yeah, Manta's okay.
Yeah, it's
also not like the biggest.
It's not great though. I mean, it's Jug, right? Is the problem?
Yeah.
It's like, what do you want to build on this hero? Satanic, I guess.
That's kind of true. Like most items on Jug just feel like okay-ish. I wouldn't even mind a Basher, for example.
Okay, I like that.
Because you went for a very offensive build.
I could see like Basher Ags being pretty legit here for sure.
Yeah, I like that, right? Because that way you have a way to cancel Black Hole actually if you don't get caught in it.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Well, or you can try.
Oh, good force staff away. Both teams, of course, very, what's the word? Very, they're anticipating the fight with
careful?
Quite a bit.
They're apprehensive.
Yes, they're both apprehensive to fight until they're both really ready. Again, you madman just smacking this Void Spirit Illusion. He will be jumped for this, and he's going to be caught through the force staff. Sharpshooter here pulled him back perfectly. Zip Zapper is nearby, and the roof does get off. Supreme doesn't have a Dispel either. Has only the Essence Ring here to try and keep himself alive, and with the follow-up here, Team Bald will not yet be able to kill him. Seems like, yeah, he's going to drop in just a second, though, to that fireball damage. But Bald Reborn will be unable to get anyone else thanks to a good Soulbind.
I'm starting to understand that Zip Zapper, that name is by his Pango rolls, dude. That was such a good roll against the Void Spirit. I mean, granted, he was in a bit of a choke point, but not really, you know, just nearby some walls here. But use of Zip Zapper. That Soulbind, I was expecting it to do much more against the Pango this game. This is the first time we see it somewhat have an impact, but Grimstroke unfortunately can't get into position, right? Because he wants to stop the Pango, but has to be wary of the DK who just jumps him and kills him. Has to be wary of the Juggernaut as well and his potential Blade Fury just walking in and murdering the Rubik, or the Grimstroke.
And as they murder
Just like that.
Yeah, pretty easy for them. That was a Smoke Gank tanked, however, so not the worst death there for the Hoodwink. Could be a lot worse, especially with the Enigma shoving down bottom currently. Has his own Blink Dagger on top of the Wraith Pact heading into the BKB, and he's going to quickly get there because he's holding the Philly Stone. Not bad at all for him. This Razor as well making pretty decent progress towards his refresher. He's about 2/3 of the way there already. And just checking with Gork, my streamer. He's got himself nearly the full meta style completed, actually. So he is going to head up into the meta next.
Dire's top
I'm not
tower
opposed to
is
this build,
under
by the way. It's just that on Jug, most items feel a little bit lackluster, and I guess Manta is the one that you can justify. Not only is it to avoid, by the way, the silence, which is, again, 2-second silence, so it's not that big a deal, but it does avoid Bushwhack and Inkswell stuns,
that's
which
true.
is a big deal.
And the Phantom's Embrace.
Oh, yeah, actually. No, yeah, there's a good use, right? It's a good...
Oh, roll up for Zip Zapper. I didn't think he was going to go for this, and in fact, he's going to be punished as the Black Hole is there from Shibe and Otakir even nearby to ensure the kill. They were done with that Pango. Sometimes, Avo, Black Holes just to send a message. And maybe that message is we can do Roche? Can they do Roche
I
here
don't
for
know.
our
I mean,
team?
they are Radiant. Do they have any minus armor? They have Blightstone on Hoodwink, that's it.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I don't think so.
That's the thing. I mean, even this tier 1 tower siege isn't going to be super fast without the Eidolons nearby.
Yeah, and because you don't have Black Hole, right, you also can't threaten it too much because Ball Reborn can still answer. This is why, even though the display was kind of funny, forcing out the Black Hole is honestly a big deal because you still have a secondary initiator in Excalibur, right? He can still be the one to lead the charge. Pango's death is not going to be the be-all, end-all. It's very SEA-like play, actually, where you bait out an ultimate with someone's life, and then you go and smoke on floor.
Yeah, I mean, that was quite the dive, actually, by Team
It was
Ball.
wild.
Zip Zapper, I mean, he died, you know, behind the tier 2 tower, basically on high ground. He might have gotten pulled up to, but yeah, not a bad death. Good job, man. Now Team Ball, they're going to go and look to fight. Razor is one component away here. He just needs that last Void Stone for double BKB. He hasn't used it once yet, so that'll be 17 seconds of BKB duration. That'll be pretty good for him as soon as he has that online. Supreme nearly to his Kaya. And Enigma is a bit further still from his BKB. Speaking of BKBs, I do believe, yeah, Excalibur has his online now already. So he is very much that second initiator that you're talking about. He can be quite fearless now, not only having to dispel, of course, but the magic immunity to just get to where he needs to be in the fight.
Yeah, that's the ladder's big deal here. Supreme, is he gonna avoid the smoke by just chance?
Well,
No,
his
they
smoke
just broke it.
breaks.
They know someone's around here.
Yeah.
The ward actually gave their positioning away. Turned into a dragon. Blink Dagger not available. Hits the tower once out of spite. Walk away.
He didn't turn into a dragon. He casted Elder Dragon form, actually.
Is that not what turning into a dragon?
Nah, I guess
that
it is
doesn't turn you
probably.
into a dragon.
Okay, so Black Hole's still on cooldown for
Why
a
do you
full
do this to
minute.
me?
And I think Team Ball, they're just going to straight up do Roche. Without Black Hole, can you
There's the-
reasonably contest this? I think you still
Yeah.
can.
I would say you probably can, but it's not as easy, right? So this doubting is going to actually screw them over because the Roche is going to fall to board. Yep, there he goes.
And Excalibur's in.
They still want to fight this. Yeah, there we go. Static Link on Excalibur. Activates the BKB. He wants to get away, but they have stopped Zip Zapper because of the leash. Hidaro will die for this, but at least he's covered his teammate's escape, or so he hoped, as Zip Zapper chasing after Shibit. Because the Diffusal Blade cannot quite run away. There's Excalibur, second initiator, gonna kill off Shibit. And Zip Zapper might have to pay for this as the Bushwhack makes sure that he stays in place. So the enemy team can pummel him to death.
Yeah, Bald Reborn, they've
Team
got to be
Bald.
careful here. They've lost games like this before where they stick around a little bit too aggressively. Enigma has buyback, has Black Hole in 10 more seconds, so this is the right move to make. Just back away. Pango's he's taking another good space creation death. He forced out the buyback from one of the supports. Just chill, bait out another Black Hole, and you're in pretty good business here. That was one BKB charge used there from the Razor. So again, they're continuing to kind of, what's the word? What's the opposite of stack when you kind of stack things separately? They're doing a good job of forcing out.
Multiplicative.
Yes, I believe so. In fact, I might get a kill here. No, Supreme gets away. Again, doesn't have a dispel here on Supreme, just the Essence Ring.
There's the Basher, by the way, on Gork. Saw some comments questioning that. I guess Gork didn't have to question that. And good choice, because now you go with the Axe, right? You have the mobility, you can kill supports quickly. And that's usually how you play Jug, by the way, at high levels. You use the Shard and the Basher to just run out of support, kill them quickly, and that's how you initiate the fight. And with Pango and DK both being able to cover after you, it's pretty great.
Yeah, that's a good point. Ooh, that feels a bit risky, though, potentially against an Enigma and a Razor. A Razor who had a little bit of a mini-link going. Excalibur somehow avoids that pushback. He's going to jump back in, looking to punish Ari now. Shibe does have a black hole, and in goes Supreme. Gork taking a lot of damage as well here. Just in the Midnight Pulse, he might die to this. Does not have the spin, but has a full magic wand as Odeker is being forced away now. Has another BKB charge, decides not to use it, and that's going to end up being the death of him. As the BKB TP not used means that the Dragon Tail stun easily picks him off.
Yep. And that's going to hurt. Reborn now has freedom to probably go to the high ground. Shibe hanging behind, though he still has a black hole. He does, but he's in a tough position. If he blinks forward, right, to get into a better position, he's going to lose that blink to initiate. I don't know. He might just have to cut the lane and leave.
Was not a...
No TP on him.
That was not a bad opportunity to black hole there, especially if they can get the first life and the Manta style use. There is a catch, though, onto the Void Spirit.
Yeah, with a Blade Fury on top of that. Magic damage is high, and Void Spirit is dead.
Okay, he's got buyback. Shibe has resorted to simply just cutting a wave, and full HP, full mana. Gork is going to get to work here with his team on these bottom pair of barracks.
DK does initiate onto the Hoodwink, and he alone, with the help of Zip Zapper, it burst him quickly. The racks will fall here, but the tier 2s are still up, so they have to settle for this and just leave. However, really huge win for Reborn. They've never lost the momentum this game. I don't think there was ever a point where ITV was really in the driver's seat, and that's put more pressure on the team with Enigma, which is usually the team that's putting the pressure, just because of the existence of the black hole. And this has made the game much harder for ITV.
I mean, this is a very John Madden thing to say, in it that, like, of course it feels, like, it always feels better to be playing the game when you're winning, but Enigma's definitely one of those heroes, because you can just be, like, a big hammer it kind of to the enemy team's morale. If they think they're winning a fight, guys, we stunned the core, you know, we stunned Razor, everyone go on top of him and kill him, and then you just, hey, no, simply, Bugs Bunny, no, and you come in with a big black hole, like, to kind of ruin the team fight. It's a little bit worse when you're always playing on the back foot, when you're scared of this Basher, you're scared of this Rubik, you're scared of just the tempo that Bald have been able to bring all game.
If you want to turn that into a more definite point, it's the use of the Blink Dagger, right? Blink Dagger users tend to want more map control because of the vision you need to initiate. As we talk about Blink Daggers, Excalibur, it has just been cancelled. Their Diami Slash, Black Hole is unsuccessful, and Basher tops it as well.
Oh, stolen Black Hole?
They just lost their biggest tool there. It just got cancelled. Gork, a bit too quick on the draw. He's going to outplay the supports. Grimstroke was the first target. Unfortunately, that Inkswell was going to stop Gork. Oh no, he died actually before he could get it off. Shibe also dies in the middle of the fight.
But it's Supreme.
That Omni Slash just won him the fight, maybe the game, honestly. There's at least one lane of racks.
Oh yeah, maybe the game. Stolen Black Hole as well from Pablo. They catch Supreme. He's forced away from the fight the entire time. So just, again, good spellcasting. Pablo does end up dying, but he's the only casualty for Team Bald. Reborn. Excalibur's now got Black Dragon form on top of that. Things are looking real good right now for Team Bald Reborn. In fact, they might just get Megas here. Without Black Hole, without Razor having 2 BKBs, I don't know how they look to defend this.
The Elder Dragon form is about to end, though, so they lose a big source of their pushing power. I mean, I guess the safer way is just one lane of racks, but you can probably commit here. Without the Black Hole, like you said, you know.
That's...
Gork is. Manta style still available. Gets rid of the silence. There's the Blade Fury to get away. Odeker.
Got blocked there by his Maiden. Oh, Maiden! Thought about going. It doesn't have the ulti, though. Shibe as well does not have ulti, but has a BKB, and Zip Zapper somehow ends up on the high ground. He's going to roll himself on down. No one for him to get leashed to here. As now Odeker, second BKB charge, looking to go in on the fight, but doesn't have the confidence of his team. Now goes Supreme, but he gets stunned immediately and killed. Doesn't have buyback. Odeker now looking to go back in. Another BKB charge in the fight. Does have the link onto Gork, but Gork's looking to fight him. Odeker completely alone here on the high ground, only joined by Kadaro, and Gork's alive here by the grace of the healing ward. That's going to be Supreme buying back. That's a death on Odeker, and Excalibur still in fighting shape.
Yeah, because of the healing ward, Gork is also coming back to the fight. Dragon Tail catches the spore, Void Spirit. He's gonna go down. Shimmy joins him thanks to the telekinesis. They also burst the Grimstroke, and with a team wipe, they force the GG. Bald Reborn will take game number 1 against ITB, former Chicken Fighters.
Yeah, very well done here by Chicken Fighters. A pretty hard draft, sorry, by ITB. Very well done by Team Bald, that is, as they outmaneuver the team fight that ITB were looking to